From the favelas of Sao Paulo, where survival comes before dreams, a boy named Charles Oliveira was born into struggle. His family had very little, life was hard, opportunities were rare. As a child, Charles was diagnosed with a heart murmur and rheumatic fever. Doctors warned he might never compete in sports again. For a boy growing up in poverty, that sounded like the end of every dream. But his mother believed in him, and Charles believed in himself. Through treatment and determination, he recovered. At just 12 years old, he discovered Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That met his escape. While the streets tested him, the gym shaped him. He wasn't just fighting opponents, he was fighting for a future. Amateur debut. At 18 years old, Charles made his amateur MMA debut. Fearless, aggressive, hungry, his submission skills stood out immediately. He didn't just win fights, he finished them. Soon, he turned professional, building a reputation as a dangerous finisher with relentless pressure. The world was about to notice. UFC journey, the struggles. In 2010, Charles entered the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the biggest stage in mixed martial arts. His early UFC career was unpredictable, difficult weight cuts. Critics questioned his toughness. Some doubted he could ever become champion. Every defeat could have broken him, but instead, it rebuilt him. He improved striking, strengthened his wrestling, transformed his conditioning, hardened his mindset. The confidence grew. Du Bronx was no longer just surviving in the UFC. Across from him, a rising Hawaiian striker named Max Holloway. That night would become a turning point in the life of Charles Oliveira. Oliveira collapses in pain, an injury. His shoulder gives out. The fight ends in the first round. Another loss on his record, another setback, another doubt added to his name. Submission losses, knockouts. People counting him out. He missed weight multiple times. He switched divisions. He struggled with confidence. The same man who once came from the favelas of Sao Paulo, who overcame childhood illness and poverty, was now fighting something deeper. Doubt, reinvention arc. But this is where the real begins. Instead of quitting, instead of making excuses, Charles Oliveira evolved. The move to lightweight wasn't just a weight class change. The move to lightweight wasn't just a weight class change. It was a rebirth, stronger, sharper, more confident. The hesitation was gone, and one by one, the legends began to fall. From 2018 onward, Oliveira became a different animal. He didn't win. Submission after submission, performance bonus after performance bonus. Every time he stepped into the octagon, it felt like someone's record was about to break, and often it was his own. He broke the UFC record for most submission victories. The same fighter once labeled inconsistent was now one of the most dangerous finishers in MMA history. He faced Tony Ferguson, a former interim champion, a legend, a man once feared by everyone at lightweight. Many thought that this was too big of a jump for Oliveira. Instead, he delivered the best performance of his career. For 3 rounds, he dominated Ferguson. Charles Oliveira wasn't the guy who breaks under pressure. On the other, the explosive newcomer, the former Bellator champion, Michael Chandler. 2 paths, 1 belt. This was redemption. He had the most submissions in UFC history, an 8-fight streak. Victories over top contenders. Across the cage stood Chandler. Powerful, confident, dangerous. He had just knocked out Dan Hooker in spectacular fashion. He believed this was his destiny. The fight starts wild. Oliveira presses forward, but Chandler fires back. A massive right hand drops Charles. The crowd erupts. Chandler jumps on him with heavy ground strikes. For a moment, it looks over. The old Oliveira might have folded, but this time, he survives. He stays calm. He fights back from his back, and within seconds, everything changes. Oliveira steps in with a sharp left. Chandler stumbles. Another lands. Then a storm of punches. Chandler falls. The referee dives in. It's over. From dropped to becoming champion in less than a round. That night, Charles Oliveira didn't just win a belt. He proved he was unbreakable. The same man who once questioned himself now carried the division on his shoulders. Charles Oliveira didn't just win a title. He conquered, passed, and in doing so, he became a champion in every sense of the word. December 2021. The champion, Charles Oliveira, defends his belt for the first time. Across from him stands a battle-tested warrior, Dustin Poirier, a former champion, a knockout artist. A man who had beaten legends by round 3, the champion sees his moment. He jumps on Poirier's back, slides in the body triangle, locks rear naked choke. Poirier taps. Statement made. Charles Oliveira isn't just champion, he's finishing in the world. He belonged at the top. Justin Gaethje stripped but unbroken. Before facing Justin Gaethje, Charles missed weight and was stripped of his title. But inside the cage, he fought like a true champion. Gaethje early. Charles recovered, took his back, and submitted him in the first round. No belt, but undeniable heart. Islam Makhachev, the setback. Then came Islam Makhachev, the protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov. For the vacant title, they clashed, but this time Charles fell short. He was mitted. The mountain proved too steep. Beneil Dariush, the comeback. In Vancouver, against contender Beneil Dariush, Charles delivered a statement, a brutal, round knockout. A rematch with Makhachev was scheduled. Redemption was near, but injury forced him out. Arman Tsarukyan, close loss. Against rising contender Arman Tsarukyan, the fight was close and technical, but the decision went against him. Michael Chandler 2 experience wins. A rematch with Michael Chandler brought fireworks again, violence, pressure, chaos, but this time, experience made the difference. Charles secured the victory. Still dangerous, still elite. Ilia Topuria, a harsh reality. Then came the undefeated rising star, Ilia Topuria, young, confident, explosive. fight was tense, but in a shocking moment, Charles was knocked out cold. Silence. Another painful chapter.
I want to fight with Charles Oliveira.
Gamrot rising again. Matus Gamrot called him out. Another dangerous opponent, but Charles fought with urgency and heart, securing the victory. The comeback story continued. End. Holloway, redemption. Now, Charles Oliveira calls out Max Holloway for the BMF title, and to avenge his first UFC loss, their fight is scheduled for UFC 326.
If you respect Charles Oliveira's journey, smash that like button and subscribe for more fight stories.